always say, just when you think you've seen it all. So we got all this damage in this laundry room that we got to tear all this flooring up because this is all particle board underneath this tile, and this particle board got wet, and of course it wicked all up underneath all that tile. I know you can't really see, but at any rate, this was the culprit. Inside your corner, somebody knew they had a problem. I cut this out. I think they drove a nail into it, and then when they drove the nail into it, they realized it, pulled everything back apart, and just threw some solder on it and said good enough. And then boxed it in, and it leaked for years and years and years and years. But I mean, they got the solder in the pipe. I can't get it on the phone, but anyway, they did solder it, but it leaked for many a long year. Gotta love it. A lot of damage, just to save a few minutes. Find a lot of things in walls. Dead birds aren't usually one of them. So yesterday we got the tile all ripped up, sat out, dried, and it still looks damp. And that's just the plywood area. And you can see how far it wicked just from over here where the water leak was to there, and then it's dry over here. But I'm afraid when we pull up that particle board, it's going to be the whole way across. So that's today's project. Get this stuff tore out. At least they cut this around all the closet space, at least this layer anyhow. I don't know when we get down to the particle board. Even across here there's a seam there, so this first layer should come up, and it's screwed down. Once we get this thin plywood up, we'll see what happens. Who knows what this happens. Layer 1, 1/4 inch plywood, no bueno. Layer number 2, linoleum, no bueno. Layer number 3, Luan, no bueno. Soaking wet. Layer number 4, particle board, no bueno. Wait a minute, we're not done yet. Number 5 here. Then it's no good either, but we have a layer. We got an indoor pool. I mean, I was just thinking we were the soggy bottom boys because I was getting wet with this particle board, but now, you know, PC, you always did want an indoor pool, didn't you? Now you got one. Well, we were trying to figure out where all that water was coming from. We figured it out. So this is just like cap block, and they just stuck the stud right down on top of it. And it's hitting here and running up underneath. They didn't flash it or anything. The dirt was clear up to here, and then you can see the siding has been broken. Thaws and between spring and fall and winter and ground heave and everything else. Cracked that siding. Yeah, there's a nice hole there. And so anyway, we're gonna tear this off, fix all the damage, come down with flashing, turn, come down, and see that over here. There you go. Come down here, over and down, and then water won't be able to penetrate up in there anymore. And we got something different over here. This pad, we didn't know where it's landed, but you can see it's lower over here. This pad's higher. So this is the sill plate. It goes down, and water's getting right in where my finger is. So we got to tear all this off. Might tear the whole way around it, and we'll have to flash it. I'm assuming right now that I can get flashing down in that crack, get it down there, and then having secondary flashing maybe coming over on top of the pad. This is a lot of fun. This may come as a shock to some of you, but spray foam is not a water barrier. It's a sponge. You see people do this on their fenders of their cars and stuff like that. They'll spray foam, put some Bondo on it, and then the car rots out twice as bad. It's because that holds moisture. They tried to spray foam this, but this just keeps giving. That siding goes underneath this course of block. So I'm thinking he put this course of block up to keep the water from going back in there. So if you dig down, you probably just find it's just a course of block here. I don't know if there's another pad sticks out past it or what. This has really just been fun. And somebody tried to fix something here at one point because they, I don't know where it was at, but they kind of razor bladed it. So I gotta cut that all out. Stay tuned for more fun and adventures with Tricks of the Trade. So they did put this course of block on later because up against the siding, because as you pull it out, there's the J channel down there. So all this was doing, I don't know, they thought it would stop water from running from this way, but all it's doing is running down the siding and right down in there. It baffles me. I didn't buy it, build it, or break it. By God, I'm gonna fix it. Well, I was telling homeowners, this is like opening a time capsule. I think a time capsule you don't want to open up. Well, he had like a door or something here. He was going into a room, to a bathroom. Was started to make a bathroom and let it go, but at any rate, yeah, we've got plywood, Celotex, OSB, all in one strip. Because they used to just put plywood sheets in the corner for structure and then Celotex in the middle of the house. For insulation value, also was cheaper, but that was a revamp. So this side, it was like the other side where they had siding that went down in. The siding went down, and then later they built all this up. I wish they wouldn't have built all this up. But anyway, they poured this concrete right up against the siding. Well, then later, being that he had to revamp that, he razor bladed off the siding, left it down in there, added J channel, and then sided it. But what's crazy is putting Celotex right next to ground contact. I mean, that I just cannot forgive. I shouldn't say not forgive, but just can't believe. Anyway, so we're gonna remove that, let all this dry out. And then that other side, we've got to replace it. So we're gonna have to tear out, because it's just, it's holy. PC scared the living daylights out of me. I was over here digging around, and he shoved something through there. He scared me to death. He's a jokester. Anyway, got a 220 line laying here in the water. Yeah, we're gonna replace this in sections, so that we don't have to jack the house up. And we're just going to replace that whole sill plate through there. But I still have yet to tear into this. We already know, bird's nest? We already know there's a hole through here somewhere where there was like some kind of a door. And you can see on the inside where it had rotted and we already tore it apart. That's a whole other project. I'll show you that later. So anyway, pull this off, see what we need to do out here to fix this side too. I'm sure we'll find more carnage under here. And we call it carnage under the fan fold. Or under the Celotex. Either one's good. Oh, there's a bird's nest up in over here. Yeah, that's another thing. A piece of siding. I don't know. I don't know. So here's what we got after we tore everything off. We've got the concrete stops here as far as that slot, and that picks up. It's just solid concrete here. We got a vine growing over here. It goes underneath this plate, but it's under the concrete because they like parged over it while it was still alive. I don't know. But anyway, this is treated. It's not too bad. So this side, actually, we don't have to do too much work on. This side, bottom plate's all rotted. And it's on tile. Must have been a plan for a door there. The tile does go on into the inside there, but it's really rotted here bad. And then it gets better. Just keeps going all the way down here and completely rotted. But the funny thing is, we've got every type of construction known to man. We've got plywood, we've got the old Celotex, we've got OSB, we've got more OSB, we've got the Celotex that's just like a foam core stuff, and then we go on to T111, and then we go to OSB, back to T111, and then back to Celotex. As you can see, there's insulation in there, so there's nothing between here and the inside of this building. Just go right inside the building. Now, are you ready for the most interesting part? PC was laughing. He says, I expected a carp to come jumping up out of that water. So of all the problems we've had, one of the real problems is the concrete slopes right in the middle here. It's low. So all the water just lays there. And there's that beautiful hole that Keith put a board out through and scared me to death. Oh, what do we got here? There's another pipe running under here. Oh, okay. He thought that ran outside. That's going to feed these. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of fun. But this is the funnest part. This is for if you watch Home Performance on YouTube, you know he'll love this one. I gotta send this to him. I'll bet he's never seen one quite this bad. This ductwork is completely rotted out, laying in the water, sucking up all the mold, all the crap, all the moisture, and discharging it in a closet. Why? So we're going to actually take that, cut it back, and bring it into the room in front of the closet. But we're going to buy a new pipe for that. Yeah. So we got to wait. We got to suck this all up, clean this out, let it dry out before we can put any flooring down. It's going to be a process. And then this board here, we're going to replace. And we're going to replace the sill plate. So we'll get to see some fun how we're going to do that. And we have some other plates in that little alleyway that we have to fix. So it should be exciting times. You can tell I'm so excited to do this, right? All because we thought it was just that little plumbing leak over there where I capped it off. No. We had leaks from above and below. Well, here's what we got. So we cut out, this was easy because it's just in this used to be the door frame. You can see the triple and the triple. And then we were able to cut that out because we have a header on top. So that was easy enough. I just put some screws in it for now. We got legs here for it. We'll sister this, screw that, carry it down. And then this is going to be easy because yes, there's support here, but this stud's going to be loaded for here for now. We'll cut that out. That'll be easy. We did the other over here and here. That was easy because that already was a nice piece of treated. We just had to cut and put a piece of ply in. This one we reframed kind of like we're doing over here, doing the same thing with treated on the bottom. But you can see I solar sealed it. I solar sealed under the 2x, I solar sealed the 2x, put the ply on, solar sealed again, and we're going to put our flashing. But we got another ace in the hole when we're done here. I'll tell you in a second. But this we're going to have to put a couple of legs down to support this wall so we can get this guy out. This will be a little more of a challenge. Our ace in the hole is we're talking to the homeowner and we're talking about roofing this. So this whole mess, maybe fixing it and making the roof come down and both sides, and that'll completely eliminate this problem of water going under there. This will just be basically like an open shed on this end. We'll give it a place to put a lawnmower or put your grill or whatever out of cover area. I had to cut right through here. This was really tight, so I just jammed my flat bar in there. Now I was able to get my blade in there from my reciprocating saw and cut that out. Now that piece is just floating in there, so we got that, knock that out, stick that in there, that's done. Go on to the hard stuff. So this is how we do it. Just cut it next to that stud, next to that stud. This one's just floating. Cut just one piece out at a time. So we'll change that piece after we get this because we'll have a leg coming down on our new board. So then these legs will support that stud and that stud. And then we can just keep taking these out a little bit at a time. All right, it's the next morning and we got all our plywood and everything back on last night. We got to get this done. We got rain coming tonight. So but like I said, we're going to put a roof over that anyway. So we'll be okay. Anyhow, this down here, we get a couple legs coming down to support the wall here so that it don't come down. We're only going to replace this in half, so we're going to start here and go back to that wall. Unfortunately, I have some plumbing right there, so that's going to be tricky. But at least so far, this is turning out we'll get that one changed, and we'll get that one changed. But working around and snaking that thing in there, it's going to be fun. So PC's going getting the sledge and the spud bar, because it's going to take some oomph. Well, I told you we had weather coming. Bummer. Man, we're just ready to get this board in, and it just started raining. Now everything's soaked again. Man. Well, hopefully we got enough time before the next rain to get this put together. But anyway, it's a tight fit. You always gotta watch what you're dealing with, man. I'll tell you what, we knew this 220 line was here, and we pushed that off to the side. But besides this plumbing, there's I don't think you can see it, there's a 110 line in there. And I was cutting the nails. As I was cutting the nails, I looked in and pried down. Good thing I was kind of looking, and I'm like, uh-oh, I think there's a wire there. I ought to cut it with the recip. And it was right there. It's like, man, why in the world you run a wire there? But anyway, I'm waiting for PC to come around. I'd leave the camera on more and film actually doing this, but PC's camera shy will not be on camera. That's why we call him Phantom Carpenter. So the good news is that the floor that we fixed over there, and we just put the flooring down, it's dry. We know it's dry everywhere, but this one, when it rained the other day, rain come in. So we still have problems in here. We found out back in the corner, back up underneath here, there's where the water was coming in, where the foundation comes down for the house, and then we built it on. He put a 1/2-inch piece of plywood against the block. It rotted out around the corner. We couldn't see it get in there, and so that's where the water come in. Might even come in a little at the our corner, but everything else was okay. But we're done with this project as far as, you know, trying to seal it from the outside. We're now going to go ahead and get concrete in here. We finally figured a way. I was trying to think of what I could do. We're going to actually knock a hole in this wall. Pat's going to come with his little concrete buggy, drive all the way around the house, fill this in with 6 inches of concrete. That'll bring it up above ground level, and then we won't have anything where the water can lay. Then we'll reframe. My only problem is that ductwork goes in up underneath. And if you don't have a light on, you probably can't see, but that goes into the basement. So I bought the adapter to oval ductwork so that I can raise that up to the top of the board here, tight as I can, so that this isn't sitting in concrete. And I'll have to frame something across that hole so the concrete doesn't get in there. But poor Pat's got to shove all that concrete back down inside those voids to fix it. And I think our plumbing's just gonna make it. We're really, really close. Yeah, so I gotta get all these studs out of here, cut a hole, replace that, pretty much all the rim board, as that one's rotted. We'll just replace it with treated, and then we'll put some barrier on there for, you know, like ice and water or something like that, just so that we isolate the wood from the concrete. Never ends. Fun. And I don't know if I mentioned that hole through there. It goes into a shower. The tiles are missing. I gotta fix too. So yeah, a lot of fun. It's all this guy's fault. Not her fault for a change. His fault. There you go. It's all your fault.
Am I going to be featured as that lawnmower guy that you always hate? Good.
Yep. Got her all gutted. Got my pipe in there. Got her hole in the wall for Pat to get his concrete in. Gonna be ready to rock and roll. Got her 2x over here. PC's gonna get a spud bar. We got pry in that. We already placed the first load going out. And that's how many wheelbarrows? It's gonna be a long morning. Trying to get the shot. You said you went to vocational school for them?
Oh, yeah.
You've been doing it ever since?
Yep.
Guess the question is, do you still like it?
What's that?
Do you still like it?
Oh, you have to.
You better. You're gonna change professions now. Number 6. Do you know how much concrete that buggy holds? You said a lot, but do you...
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Quarter yard maybe.
Yeah. Seven loads, that wasn't so bad. That thing holds more than I thought. Wheel? We got it all level, about where we want it. Now I gotta wait till it sets up enough to smooth it all out a little bit. But I gotta roll. Gotta go bust some concrete up somewhere else, get ready for another job for Pat. So I guess that's gonna be it for today on this one. All right, see you whenever we get back to framing.